National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Coming to you live from the National News Studio. Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards.
And I'm ChannelEye. Let's have a look at the headlines first.
Transport charges remain the same despite the reduced fuel prices. Poultry farmers say that eggs can be provided at lower rates. The Asian Development Bank says Sri Lanka has selected the way to overcome the economic downturn. A railway compartment derailed at Kithul Utua, injuring 16. The Pope conducts the Good Friday Holy Mass.
Moving on to the lead story. Christians the world over commemorate Good Friday today.
And the day of crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Christians commemorate the Easter Lent season for over 40 days, engaging in prayers, fasting and almsgiving. A significant feature of this period is remembering way of the cross, Jesus Christ's journey to Mount Calvary carrying the cross. This season will end on the Easter Sunday, which is celebrated by the Christians, commemorating the resurrection of the Jesus Christ. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Taldua says that special security program is now underway at Catholic churches during the Easter week. Many religious programs have been organized at the churches and Christian centers island-wide to mark the Good Friday.
පාරාදීසෙහි සිටින්නේ
The Poultry Farmers Association says that they are now receiving the animal feed and also the raw materials without any shortage. Well, they point out that therefore eggs can be provided to consumers at concessionary prices. The president of the All Ceylon Poultry Farmers Association, Ajit Gundasekara, says that there is no need to import eggs in the past, as in the entire demand of eggs was supplied locally. However, eggs are now imported under the mediation of one or two individuals as per their interest. Several individuals earned an enormous profit by importing eggs. Usually over 100,000 families depend on the local poultry industry. The government has reduced the trade tax rate for eggs and the import and lost a huge income. If the government can reduce the additional taxes imposed on the poultry industry, the price of an egg can be reduced by about 6 rupees, he says. If eggs are available at lower prices locally, there is no need to import eggs.
Moving on, people say that bus and three-wheel fares should be revised as per the reduced fuel prices. Since the government reduced the prices of fuel by a considerable amount, people focused their attention with regard to revising the bus and three-wheel fares accordingly. The National Transport Commission reduced the minimum bus fare up to 30 rupees with effect from 31st of March. The Three-Wheel Owners Association has decided to reduce the fares by 20 rupees in line with the reduced fuel prices. Accordingly, a sum of 100 rupees is charged for the first kilometre and 80 rupees for the second kilometres. And however, the commuters complain that many three-wheel drivers have not reduced the charges so far.
President's Senior Advisor on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff, Sagal Ratnayaka, says that the pavement vendors will be allowed to carry out their businesses by the roadside during the festive season without causing inconvenience to the people. He made this comment at a meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. Well, representatives of the trade associations, including the Colombo United Traders Association, were present at this meeting. Sagal Ratnayaka said that he will focus the attention on the president towards the problems faced by the pavement vendors. A committee in this connection will be appointed. Attention has also been focused on the issue of special identity card for pavement vendors. Well, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyamalapatia says that the Asian Development Bank, the ADB, has admitted that Sri Lanka has taken the best possible way to overcome the existing severe economic downturn.
And this has been stated by the latest Global Economic Review report launched by the ADB. And he made these remarks addressing the media in Rwanda recently. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siyamalapatia said that the ADB latest report has clearly stated that Sri Lanka has taken the most appropriate way to achieve economic development. Sri Lanka had -7.8 economic growth in 2022 and the government has targeted to limit it to -3 in this year. The 90% food sector inflation last year will reach 5.5% by the beginning of next year, and the ADB experts have a positive approach towards Sri Lanka. It is especially mentioned in the 180 and 181 pages of the April report of the ADB. South Korean ambassador to Sri Lanka Jong Wang-jing met President Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat to inform his conclusion of office in Sri Lanka.
Well, the president expressed his gratitude towards the support extended to Sri Lanka by the outgoing ambassador during his office. Well, the president also wishes better prospects for better future activities of the ambassador. He rendered his service to Sri Lanka since July 2020. Well, today is the 7th day of the Sundara Nuwareliya Salalihini Vasante 2023 festival, and these visitors who arrived in Nuwareliya city are able to participate in a number of special programs organized at many places, including the Gregory Lake area, up to the 25th of this month.
And the national television is the official media sponsor of the event this year as well.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා ඉන්ෂුවරන්ස් සමගින් සුන්දර නුවරඑළිය සැලලිහිණි වසන්තය 2023.
All required facilities have been arranged for the visitors during this period. Transport, sanitary and health and hotel facilities have been arranged in the Nuwareliya town and surrounding area. The visitors are invited to come to Nuwareliya and enjoy the beauty and the innovative experience in the Sundara Nuwareliya Salalihini Vasante 2023 festival.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා ඉන්ෂුවරන්ස් සමගින් සුන්දර නුවරඑළිය සැලලිහිණි වසන්තය 2023.
Punchi Ape Aurudu Siri 2023 Rupavahini Kids New Year Festival was held today at the corporation premises.
Well, many New Year games and also cultural events organized for children were held throughout the day. Well, the Kids New Year Festival was initiated by Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, W.B. Ganegala, and the Deputy Director General, Sumedha Athulasiri. Chairman of SLRC, W.B. Ganegala, said that the young generation is the force that will build up the future of a nation. The national television is committed to support them by organizing special programs for children and telecasting them. Many invitees and sponsors were present at the opening ceremony. A significant feature was the event, and that was the selection of kids New Year Prince and Princess. Children between the ages of 5 and 10 years participated in these events. Children had the opportunity to be aware of the importance of New Year traditions and cultural events. Meanwhile, a booklet describing the importance of the national television titled Asidisi Ru was also launched at this location, and this has been compiled by the Engineering Division and Chintaka Bandar of SLRC. It was launched under the patronage of Director General Asanga Jayalath. Well, the first film, titled Saho, directed by veteran teledrama and theatre director Emeritus Professor Aryaratna Atugala, is shown at many cinema halls throughout the island, and that's from today.
And a special show of the film was screened at PVR Cinema Hall in Colombo yesterday. A significant feature of this film is that it has focused attention to university undergraduates and how their attitudes towards love, politics, culture and other social aspects. Saho is the main character of the film, and Minister Dr. Bantula Gunawardena, H.D. Premsari and Ravindra Gurage are the co-producers of this film. Dasun Patiruna, Dinara Punchihewa and a large number of university students have acted in this film. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Chairman of the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation, W.B. Ganagala and many politicians, artists and intellectuals were present at the special screening of this film yesterday.
The police special task force has arrested an ally of organized criminal Ganemulle Sanjeeva and another suspect with heroin. The suspects have been taken into custody yesterday at the Kadavatha bus stand premises. Well, on information received by the STF, 40 grams of heroin has been taken into custody. The major suspect had been identified as the resident of Vellampiti area, nicknamed Vidda, and he is said to be responsible for 3 murders and several terrorist activities. 3 suspects have been arrested by the Casbah police, who are alleged to have stolen 3-wheelers and also sold them by changing the chassis and engine numbers. Police have also discovered 8 3-wheelers with a market value of 8 million rupees. According to police, a garage owner, a vehicle salesman and a 19-year-old youth are among the suspects. It has been revealed that the gang had sold 9 3-wheelers to various buyers.
And here's few more local news items in brief. A Trincomalee-bound train was derailed at Kituluttu area of Galoe railway station today. One compartment of the train was toppled at this accident. 16 passengers had injuries. The victims have been admitted to the Kantale base hospital. Our correspondent said that the railway department has taken measures to prepare the damaged railway track immediately. Due to the heavy Gulf phase winds experienced near the polar area in Varakapula yesterday, about 100 houses have been damaged. Our correspondent reported that power supply was also disrupted throughout the day in the area due to fallen trees and branches onto power lines. State Minister Ranjit Balapitiya and several others engaged in an inspection visit in the area to estimate the damages. Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne has taken legal action against journalists Chamudita Samaravikrama and several others under the charges of defamation committed through social media, demanding 500 million rupees as compensation. The Defence Secretary has also filed a case against the website owner of Gigi Nishanka under the charge of defamation. The Defence Secretary has demanded a compensation of 500 million rupees for the damage caused up to this career. A photo exhibition of Tamil youths living in upcountry was held recently at Ratnapura under the title of Tekahata. This has been organized by Ratnapura Art Circle. A high-speeding motor car bound to Kolupitia from the Gulf phase met with an accident causing a fire in the vehicle. No one has injured by the accident. A National Integration Development Program was held in Beruali yesterday under the title of Alut Gamak Alut Ratak. The program was held under the patronage of State Minister P.L. Nishanta, and a mobile service to issue birth, marriage and other relevant certificates was also held there.
Well, distribution of prizes for the winners of the Development Lotteries Board was held today at the Kandy District Secretariat. Well, several winners from Kandy, Mathale, Kegol and Kurunagala received relevant checks at this ceremony. The sales dealers of these lottery tickets were also provided with prizes. Several distinguished guests, including Chairman of the Development Lotteries Board, Ajit Gunaratna Naragala, were present at this occasion. Well, on that lucky note, we end the local news. We take a short break and we'll be back with more stories that's internationally.
பீப்பிள்ஸ் கிரெடிட் கார்டு உரிமையாளர்களே, இந்த புத்தாண்டு காலத்தில் பிரபல ஆடையகம், ஹோட்டல் மற்றும் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் உட்பட பலவற்றில் 60% வரை விசேட சலுகைகளை பெற்றிடுங்கள். மேலதிக விவரங்களுக்கு விரைந்திடுங்கள் www.peoplesbank.lk.
Welcome back to the news and moving into international stories. Well, the Vatican reports that the Pope Francis is expected to attend the Indo-Passion of the Lord celebration in St. Peter's Basilica for Good Friday.
And 5 days after Pope Francis released from hospital. Pope was admitted for bronchitis. Pope Francis went to a youth prison on the outskirts of Rome on Thursday to wash the feet of inmates. It is a traditional rite that repeats the gesture Jesus made during the Last Supper when he washed the feet of his disciples as a sign of love and service. The 12 inmates of various nationalities, with 10 men, including 1 Muslim and 2 women. The frail 86-year-old is testing his stamina with his busy schedule of events during the Easter week and the holiest in the Christian calendar. Before going to the prison, he presided over the chrism mass in St. Peter's Basilica when large vats of oil were wheeled up to the altar for him to bless. It will be used for baptism, the rite of extreme unction, ordination and confirmation ceremonies. During Christmas Mass in the Vatican on Holy Thursday, Pope Francis thanks priests for the good they do, which so often goes unrecognized.
And tensions in the Gaza Strip, Israeli military has carried out airstrikes on targets belonging to the Palestinian military group Hamas in the southern Lebanon and also in the Gaza Strip as well. The attacks come, in fact, after a major rocket barrage on Israel from Lebanon, which the Israelis blamed on Hamas. The Israel Defense Forces said Hamas terrorist infrastructure was hit in the southern Lebanon. Tensions are high after Israel police raided Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque on a consecutive 9 days earlier this week. The mosque is Islam's third holiest site, and the Israeli raids have triggered violent confrontations with Palestinians inside and caused outrage in the wider region. Hamas chief was in Lebanon with rockets were launched, said Palestinians would not sit their arms crossed in the face of Israeli aggression. Officials said hours after Israeli strikes, 2 Israeli sisters were killed and another mother also seriously injured in a shooting attack near a settlement in the occupied West Bank. Well, Chief of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, has said that the global economy is set to grow at roughly 3% over the next 5 years, the slowest pace since 1990, she says. Well, Kristalina says that the path ahead was rough and foggy and also warned that cooperation to address the problems was also becoming more and more difficult. She spoke in Washington, and that's ahead of IMF's annual meeting. In her remarks, she called for more help for low-income countries. The organization is bracing for a wave of requests for help or debt restructuring as the shocks from the COVID-19 crisis, the war in Ukraine and also the soaring cost of living continues to reverberate. Last year, the global growth dropped almost in half to 3.4% and was below 3.8%, the average growth in the last 2 decades. The IMF said it expected to grow to DMP below 3% in 2023, with India and China accounting for more than half of the growth. Roughly 90% of the advanced economies are expected to see a growth decline.
Meanwhile, scientists have filmed a fish swimming at an extraordinary depth in the ocean making it the deepest observation of this nature that has ever been made.
The species, a type of snailfish of the genus Pseudoliparis, was filmed swimming 8,336 meters, and it was filmed by an autonomous lander dropped into the Izu Ogasawara Trench south of Japan. The lead scientist said that snailfish could be at or very close to the maximum depth of any fish that can survive. The previous deepest fish observation was made at 8,178 meters further south in the Pacific in the Mariana Trench. This discovery therefore beats the depth recorded by 158 meters. The University of Western Australia deep sea scientists made a prediction 10 years ago that fish could likely be found as deep as 8,200 to 8,400 meters.
Moving on to sports news today, Kolkata Knight Riders won the IPL match against Royal Challengers Bangalore, played at Eden Gardens yesterday.
Batting first, Kolkata Knight Riders scored 204 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their 20 overs. Shardul Thakur scored 68 in 29 balls. Rahmanullah Gurba scored 57 and Rinku Singh scored 46. In reply, the Royal Challengers Bangalore all out for 123 runs in 17.4 overs, and Faf du Plessis scored 23 and Varun Chakravarti claimed 4 wickets. And it's time to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Hesha. This is Clifford wishing you a good night.
பண்டிகை காலம் நெருங்கிக் கொண்டே இருக்கின்றது அல்லவா? வசந்த காலத்திலும் உங்களின் வெற்றி வாய்ப்புகளை அதிகரிப்பதற்காக இன்றைய தினமும் கோடிக்கணக்கிலான பணப்பரிசில்களோடு மற்றும் ஒரு DLBயின் லாட்டரி ஷோவின் ஊடாக உங்கள் அனைவரையும் சந்திப்பதில் பெருமகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றோம். பல மகிழ்ச்சிகரமான செய்திகள் உங்களுக்காகவே காத்திருக்கின்றன. எதிர்வரும் திங்கட்கிழமை ஏப்ரல் மாதம் 10ஆம் தேதி கப்ருகவின் புத்தாண்டு அதிர்ஷ்டம் விசேட சீட்லிப்பானது இடம்பெறவிருக்கின்றது. இந்த சீட்லிப்பின் ஊடாக 31 கோடி ரூபாய்க்கும் அதிகமான சூப்பர் ஜாக்பாட் பணப்பரிசில் மாத்திரமல்ல, அன்றைய தினம் 1 கோடி ரூபாய், 50 லட்சம் ரூபாய், 20 லட்சம் ரூபாய் மற்றும் 5 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பெறுமதியான இதர பணப்பரிசில்களை உங்களால் வெல்லக்கூடியதாக இருக்கும். அது மாத்திரமல்ல, அன்றைய தினம் தெரிவு செய்யப்படும் விசேட வெற்றி இலக்கங்களை சரியாக பொருத்தி 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய், 50,000 மற்றும் 5,000 ரூபாய் பெறுமதியான பணப்பரிசில்களையும் உங்களால் வெல்லக்கூடியதாக இருக்கும். ஆகவே அதிகமாய் கப்ருகவின் புத்தாண்டு அதிர்ஷ்டம் விசேட சீட்லிப்புக்கான டிக்கெட்டுகளை நீங்களும் கொள்வனவு செய்து கொள்ளுங்கள். DLBயின் 50 அல்லது 50க்கும் மேற்பட்ட சீட்லிப்பு டிக்கெட்டுகளை நீங்கள் கொள்வனவு செய்ய விரும்பினால் அந்த சீட்லிப்பு டிக்கெட்டுகளை இப்பொழுது நீங்கள் இருக்கும் இடத்திலிருந்தே பெற்றுக்கொள்ளலாம். அது மாத்திரமல்ல, அவ்வாறு அதிக அளவில் சீட்லிப்பு டிக்கெட்டுகளை கொள்வனவு செய்கின்ற வெற்றியாளர்களை குலுக்கல் முறையின் அடிப்படையில் தெரிவு செய்து பல விசேட பரிசில்களையும் உங்களுக்கு நாம் வழங்க போகின்றோம். 50 அல்லது 50க்கும் மேற்பட்ட சீட்லிப்பு டிக்கெட்டுகளை நீங்கள் ஒரே வேளையில் கொள்வனவு செய்ய விரும்பினால் இந்த தொலைபேசி இலக்கங்களுக்கு வார நாட்களில் அலுவலக வேளையில் அழைப்பினை ஏற்படுத்துவதன் மூலம் நீங்கள் இருக்கும் இடத்திற்கே இப்பொழுது சீட்லிப்பு டிக்கெட்டுகளை வரவழைத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். நீங்கள் அழைக்க வேண்டிய தொலைபேசி இலக்கங்கள் இவைதான்: 0114062002, 0114062065, 0114824801 மற்றும் 0114824802. அது மாத்திரமல்ல, இப்பொழுது உங்களுக்கு ஏராளமான பரிசில்களை சித்திரை புத்தாண்டை முன்னிட்டு அபிவிருத்தி லொத்தர் சபையானது புத்தாண்டு அதிர்ஷ்டம் விசேட நிகழ்ச்சியினூடாக வழங்குகின்றது. நாளாந்தம் கேட்கப்படுகின்ற கேள்விகளுக்கு சரியான பதில்களை நீங்கள் SMS செய்ய வேண்டும். தேசிய தொலைக்காட்சி அல்லது நேத்ரா அலைவரிசையினூடாக கேட்கப்படுகின்ற கேள்விகளை DLB இடைவெளி உங்கள் பதிலுக்கான இலக்கத்தினை குறிப்பிட்டு 0764863166 என்னும் இலக்கத்திற்கு SMS செய்யுங்கள். அவ்வாறு இன்றைய தினம் சரியான பதில்களை அனுப்பி தெரிவு செய்யப்பட்ட 10 அதிர்ஷ்டசாலிகளுக்கு 5000 ரூபாய் பெறுமதியான பணப்பரிசுகளை வழங்கப் போகின்றோம். இன்றைய தினத்திற்கான வெற்றியாளர்கள் இவர்கள் தான். அவர்களை உங்களுக்கு நாம் அறிமுகப்படுத்துகின்றோம். மீகுடையைச் சேர்ந்த நாலக்க சமிந்த ஏகநாயக்க, வத்தளையைச் சேர்ந்த சுலானி பெரேரா, நீர்கொழும்பைச் சேர்ந்த WP சுரங்க பெரேரா, ராகமையைச் சேர்ந்த DBA பிரியசாந்த், பிலியந்தலையைச் சேர்ந்த TAD விஷ்மால் கவிந்திர விஜயரத்ன. மேலும் பார்க்கலாம். கண்டியைச் சேர்ந்த துலாஞ்சலி பவித்ரா குமாரி, தெஹிவளையைச் சேர்ந்த துலிப் மொஹான் குரே, கம்பளையைச் சேர்ந்த காஞ்சனா பிரியதர்ஷினி, பெல்மடுலையைச் சேர்ந்த UD சந்திரலதா, குலியாப்பிட்டியைச் சேர்ந்த மானில் விமங்ஷா ஓஷினி. நீங்களும் இவ்வாறு நாளாந்தம் அதிக அளவில் பணப்பரிசில்களை வெல்லலாம். அந்த மகிழ்ச்சிகரமான செய்திகளோடு சற்று முன்னர் தேசிய தொலைக்காட்சியின் கலையகம் ஒன்றில் நடுவர் குழுவின் முன்னிலையில் இடம்பெற்றிருந்த இன்றைய தினத்திற்கான 6 சுழற்சிகளை ஒன்றன் பின் ஒன்றாக நாம் இப்பொழுது பார்த்து விடலாம். இது உங்கள் அதிர்ஷ்டத்திற்கான நேரம், DLBN லாட்டரி ஷோ. இன்றைய தினம் நடுவர் குழு உறுப்பினர்களாக கடமையாற்றியவர்கள் பிரதமர் அலுவலகத்தின் சிரேஷ்ட உதவி செயலாளர் திரு D மாஷாங்க H லியனகே, பொது நிறுவனங்கள் திணைக்களத்தின் உதவி பணிப்பாளர் திரு ருச்சிர L வீரசேகர மற்றும் தேசிய கணக்காய்வு அலுவலகத்தின் கணக்காய்வு உத்தியோகத்தர் திரு WSP சொய்சா.
தினம்தோறும் உங்களுக்கான கோடீஸ்வர வரத்தினை அள்ளி வழங்கும் DLBயின் அத கோடிபதி சீட்டெடுப்பில் உங்களை நாம் சந்திக்கின்றோம். இன்றைய நாளில்